Alexandra, are you ready?
Yes, I'm just trying to, yeah, I'm ready. I'm just sharing the screen. Το αντίξον συμφέρον και εκ των διαφερόντων καλεί στην αρμονία και πάντα κατέριν γίνεσθε. Contrasting elements converge, and from their union, the most beautiful harmony is born. Heraclitus. And the river flows, the never-ending flow. And our bodies go against the flow. And our bodies go with the flow. So many people suffering, ailing. So many people flourishing, blooming. Synthesizing turquoise love and kindness. Like a colorful blossom on a tree. Directing, balancing our physical body, our beauty, into health, strength, vibrancy, healing, weakness, disease. Releasing our spirit into mystic quality. Fly, 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 fly. And the river flows, the never-ending flow. And our minds go against the flow. And our minds go with the flow. So many people devising, propagandizing discordant ideas. So many people initiating, rippling, harmonic ideas. Synthesizing turquoise love and kindness. Like perfect symmetry in an uneven diagram. Directing, balancing our thoughts, our words into order, clarity, relief, subduing darkness, chaos. Releasing our spirit into mystic quality. Fly, 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 fly. And the river flows, the never-ending flow. And our hearts go against the flow. And our hearts go with the flow. So many people fighting, taking a dislike to each other. So many people collaborating, taking pleasure in each other's company. Synthesizing turquoise love and kindness. Like a spark of fire in the darkness. Directing, balancing our emotions, our passions into hope, courage, brilliance, overcoming resentment, fear. Releasing our spirit into mystic quality. Fly, 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 fly. And the river flows, the never-ending flow. And our souls go against the flow. And our souls go with the flow. So many people gloomy, stressing outside their magical world. So many people glowing, shining inside their magical world. Synthesizing turquoise love and kindness. Like the fluorescent glow of a firefly, directing, balancing our intuition, our flame, into aspirations, visions, luminance, phosphorizing visible, invisible, releasing our spirits into mystic quality. Fly, 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 fly. And the river flows. Just let it flow.
Alexandra, thank you for that lovely dreamy music as well as the words. You have a beautiful speaking voice for those type of poems. Also, I would ask people to keep their poems to, say, 4 minutes, just to get everyone in. Now, the next one I have down here, Patrick Close, please. Is he there?
Well, Matthew, I'm going to rise to the challenge as a painter and a poet, and explore a little bit of that. I have long lists of titles without paintings. I have many paintings without titles. And sometimes the two get together and form a union and live happily ever after. Sometimes they do not. But it may interest you to know that in the development of a title for a painting, you're trying not to skew the viewer in any particular direction, because the painting opens to different people in different ways. And this painting behind me, I've just recently completed, and it's a memorial painting. And it has to do with the death of a friend. It's an aerial view of some coniferous trees, and there's darkness surrounding it. But what's interesting is that when I was developing the titles and working on the titles and trying to get a title that didn't influence the viewer too much, but did give some insight into my intention, it almost became verse. So there's a whole page of the titles, possible titles, and I'll read them to you. And the list of titles has a title. It's Jane's painting. North Country, Memory of Trees, Myth of Trees, Mythology, Remembrance, Memory, She Once Was, Hymn, Silent Song, Spirit Journey, Darkness Fell, Sailing Away, Leaving Song, Evening Song, Even Song, Forest Music, Forest Song, Time Passing, Passing By, Passing On, Resting Place, Falling, As Night Fell, As Night Falls Softly, Sanctuary, Forgetting Something, Forest Dream, Dreaming, Forest Below, She Speaks Softly, Requiem, Waiting for Sorrow. So it almost takes on verse itself. I haven't made the finished title yet, but it may be Nightfall, it may be Requiem, it may be the two together.
Patrick, you're on mute.
That would be because I'm done.
Oh, thank you for that. I like the variety you bring. It's lovely. Next one I have here is Bryan, Generalissimo. Are you there? Bryan Franco,
I'm right here.
you're
Yes.
next.
Yes, ma'am. Bear with me for 1 second. Margaret O'Regan. What happened when I got caught chewing the duvet? The gnawing feeling when I wake up, because depression is a voice that tells me to stay in bed, a voice that speaks without sound, a voice that can lie its way out of any situation by lying its way into any situation. The gnawing feeling when I wake up is wearing false teeth, committing false acts of smiling. Dentures my reality does not require because I still have all my original teeth. Dentures that decided to become my teeth by breaking and entering into my psyche. The gnawing feeling when I wake up that I don't have to make my bed every day because I live alone, and who is going to bear witness to my mess as long as the sheets stay on the bed and I wash them regularly. The gnawing feeling when I wake up might start as a gnawing feeling when my head touches the pillow when I go to bed at night, before which I play a recording of night birds, serene ocean sounds and whale cries emanating from my cell phone that were recorded from various locales on Cape Cod. I wonder what it would be like to fall asleep next to an open window with salt air wafting in, and all those noises being gifted to me as a symphonic lullaby conducted by Mama Gaia herself. Maybe the idea of the gnawing feeling when I wake up can be just an idea that doesn't need to exist. I'll preface this that Trader Joe's is a small, trendy grocery store in the United States, a very large chain actually. So this is called Upon Arbitrarily Running into an Ex at Trader Joe's. One day, while squeezing persimmons at Trader Joe's, I espied a former lover of whom I hadn't seen in decades, of whom hadn't invaded my thoughts in decades, of whom had escaped my sleeping dreams over a decade ago, of whom broke my heart by surgically removing it with words that served as scalpel. This former lover walked over to me decades after the non-consensual surgery and touched my shoulder lightly. This former lover dared look me in the eyes and said, "Hello, long time no see." This former lover said, "Should we grab a hot cup of lapsang souchong and catch up?" As if invoking my tea of choice from the past would not raise long dormant emotional keloids in my memory, I said, "Why not?" Thank you.
Thank you, Bryan, as always. Was that first one in your current collection? I remember it from somewhere.
Oh, no, it was not. That's
Okay.
a relatively new poem from a workshop I did.
All right. Now, the next one I have here is Sebastien, and I'm sure, Sebastien, I cannot pronounce your second name, Sebastien Revon.
That's okay. That's okay. That's quite good. It's quite good. Yes, so I only write haikus. This month is the National Haiku Writing Month. And I'm coordinator for the French audience. So I give the prompts every day. And this year it's quite difficult because it's cities of the world. So the 1st of February, it was London. So for London, I came up with this bit. I'm gonna write it actually. It's very short. So I might say it as well. Yeah, I'll say it anyway. So, crime in London, a teacup emptied on the carpet. Crime in London, a teacup emptied on the carpet. That's London. The 2nd of February was Sydney. And I wrote Sydney Opera. I listen to shells differently. Sydney Opera. I listen to shells differently. I'll say another two. Moscow, the 7th of February. There's a very famous monument on the Red Square called the Resurrection Gate, and the tradition is to make a wish by throwing a coin at the Resurrection Gate. So I wrote, Resurrection Gate, the coin of my wish in the beggar's hand. Resurrection Gate, the coin of my wish in the beggar's hand. And the last one, maybe, Montreal was the 3rd of February. And for Montreal, I wrote, homesick, a bit of maple syrup on French toast. Homesick, a bit of maple syrup on French toasts. That was 4 of those. Yeah.
Thanks very
Thank
much,
you.
Sebastian, for those. And of course, you should always read them, not just write them down for us, with your, especially with your accent.
Thank you.
Now, the next one I have here is Catherine Ronan. Catherine, you're up.
Yeah, hi everyone, great night. Thank you, Matthew. Fantastic. Even if it was super speed, but super workshop. Thank you so much. I also want to thank Dr. Jenny Butler of UCC. I'm doing a course at the moment in myth and magic, and she is myth and magic herself. So this is my poem called Bridget, after the goddess of spring in Ireland, but I think she's known all over the world as well. So Bridget. Cupped flame of sunbeams and snow, cosmic power of renewal, sap of oak rises to kiss your fingers, spring tides bathe your feet. You are sketched moon, fractured sun, first flower of spring in a druid's fist. Born between 2 thresholds, you hold the hand of all labours. Our Mary of the Gale, we tie magic ribbons and rags to your holy trees, sing songs over ancient rivers. Protector of poets, healers and smiths, we kneel before your mantle of stars. Bridget, carried from Iona to Bethlehem, you inhale the dark, exhale the light.
Wonderful, Catherine. I love that take on Bridget. Absolutely wonderful. Imagine that coming out of a workshop. Now, oh yes, Sebastian, I meant to say we did a workshop with Anton when COVID was raging on haiku. So it's on YouTube. If you probably saw it, yeah, there.
Yeah,
probably.
great one. Yeah.
Well, if anyone wants to look that up, it's absolutely enthralling. Anton went through every form of haiku imaginable. It was great. Now, the next one I have down here is Ruth. Ruth, please.
Hi gang, as ever, a great night. So this is called Well Wishing. I threw myself into a well, gave way to decline. Underfoot, copper is leach and mineral to earth. Wishes dissolve, tarnished discs, a rivulet of ore. Oxidized in actions, I tread hope, profit not gained. Scratched dark, etched black yields. Scale heights, wind slaps, selfish disrespect. People aren't reborn. I will not return to this place. Thanks.
Lovely, Ruth. Thank you, and so well read. Is Mich here? Where's she gone?
Here. Hi, I'm here.
Oh, hi, Mitch. You can go ahead now, please.
This is a short poem called Hair Story. It was another country. There were entry requirements, criteria for admission, effortless for some, kittens licked into shape by the mother tongue, pristine, no place for the unkempt, unruly. They would be sent back from the border to try again. We all aspired to the page boy, straight and narrow, though I was a girl and curly, corkscrewed, unmanageable, not a page boy at all.
Punchy, Ruth, or Mitch, even though it's short, very, very punchy. Thank you. Michael Patwell next. Michael, delighted to see you here tonight. You're on mute. You're muted.
Okay.
That's it.
You got me. Yeah. I heard about this group and I was wondering what I would do to make, contact. But thank you, Margaret, for making contact with me. I just picked out something without giving it too much thought, and it's actually meant to be just a bit of fun. It's a little poem that I wrote recently called Aged Reflections. It probably says a lot about me. Taking powders and potions for pee and for poo. My lace is undone, can't get down to my shoe. Getting dressed in the morning will challenge my standing, and my head starts to spin looking down from the landing. How I wish it could be to be 30 years younger, for things I enjoyed, and there's no longer a hunger. Both my knees and my hips are constant in pain, and walking to town I must lean on my cane. When doing DIY, all my tools I would gather, but now I would fall off the first step of the ladder. My flower beds need weeding and the grass has gone brown, but brown it must stay as I cannot bend down. All my friends are the same and our food we just nibble. We keep napkins close by because we're likely to dribble. And talking of dribble, we stay close to the door in case signs of our passing form pools on the floor. But then I recall the glad days of my youth. I was nimble and eager and still had each tooth when I danced through the night with the prettiest girl. Those memories live on, shining bright as a pearl. Don't waste any time with worry and strife. Leave your days in contentment with husband or wife. For time it is fleeting and waits for no man. Take the best out of life as much as you can. It's one of my rare kind of rhyming poems, but anyway, I just thought I'd put it in for a bit of a laugh.
Oh, that's really lovely, Michael. It is so funny and so true as well for anyone my age as well. So I love it.
Thank you.
And I hope you'll be back again to do more of those and others. Now, the next person I have here is Mona Lynch. Mona.
Thank you, Margaret. This is very short and a first draft. It came about because somebody gave me a gift of Palo Santo. It's an incense stick and it's pungent wood burning smell, and I loved it. And my hobby is poetry. My husband's hobby is woodwork. So I just wrote this short poem. And Palo Santo means holy wood. So I called the poem Holy Wood. The blessings of Palo Santo embracing my kitchen. I pay a visit to his workshop. Nod to the silent jasmine holding tightly to the fence. Inside, the lathe is whirring. The gouge shaping the pine bowl, causes a shower of shavings in a resin-infused temple. As the form appears, he caresses it like a lover. Thank you.
I don't know, Margaret is back. Margaret. Okay, I just let Margaret, but I don't see her here. Margaret, are you here?
Yeah, I'm just back. My connection, there was something wrong there. Sorry about that. So, and I didn't hear Mona's poem at all. That's terrible. The next person I have on the list is Anton Floyd.
Hello, everyone. I suppose that this poem, it's a sonnet, and it would fit the bill for Matthew's titles, really, because it's called A Metaphysical Tango. And I just have to say that I've written it for my son Piers and his fiancée Sagan, who are getting married in August. I've written a poem for them. And the poem draws a parallel with John Donne's metaphysical poetry. I have 3 poems in mind, and the fact that my son Piers, who lives in Germany, is a Latin dance champion. So when you think about the tango and the poems that I reference are The Sun Rising, A Valediction Forbidding Morning, and The Good Morrow by John Donne. So a metaphysical tango for Piers and Sagan. Calling the unruly sun to heal, that poem and the one about a returning lover makes where we dance in this little room our everywhere. And those metaphors, desire without sharp norths or declining wests, those beckoning hemispheres, the compass feet that glide on breath, all these obliquely run into the spiral and coiled rhythms of our tango steps. I here inscribe myself within your sphere, and so entwined we rule our world. Forget the Indias of spice, the Argentine. Enough, your face and mine together pressed, our bodies move, heart braided, blessed. What? That's it.
Anton, they will love that if you read it out at the wedding. I presume you're going to do that. They will absolutely. Oh my God, it's just, I'm always amazed at your stuff. The last person I have down here now is Pam Campbell, and she has a haiku for us.
Thanks, Margaret. This is a haiku written in response to a line by a poet by the name of Rosemary Traumer, and her poem is called An Afternoon with Basho, if I pronounced that correctly. The line that I wrote in response to is the sound a page makes without a poet. The sound a page makes without a poet, striking black and white, dampened ivories, peddling tone deafness. That's it.
Lovely, Pam. Thank you.
Thank you.
And of course, Pam and Catherine and some of us are in this anthology at the moment. It's the Blue Mondays poetry anthology, and it was launched virtually, but in the Cork City Library. So any of you want to have a look at that and purchase it, and half proceeds are going to homeless charity. It's available through Blue Mondays Writers on Facebook. And Bryan, thank you for putting that big long list of info into the chat. For anyone that wants to save the chat, just press on the 3 dots at the right hand side at the bottom of the chat, and you'll have it on your screen when you close up. So you'll have all that info, because Bryan is great for listing the virtual poetry sessions, and we love the international audience in our spoken word. So now, is there anybody that hasn't read that would like to? Nick, did you have a poem? No. Nick Smith is our founder, so but for Nick we would not exist as a group.
Did you read, Margaret?
What?
Did you read a poem?
No, I did not.
Well, I feel cheated.
Well, do you know what? I'll read one out of the Blue Mondays. And I don't read this properly at all according to my Blue Mondays group. One of them said to me that I think I'm in the courthouse, and Michael, you'll get a kick out of this because I'm a retired law clerk, and of course Michael is in this, a retired judge. They give out to me for reading this in the courtroom voice. It's called Passion. Stirrings begin in my mind. Passionate thoughts run wild. Sensual sensations of you. The feel of you. The scent of you. The taste of you. The heat of you. Feelings flood my senses. Every muscle tenses. Blushes bring hot-blooded flushes. Through every pore it rushes. Red-hot desire quickens. Exciting turn-on visions. Pleasure zones exude erotically charged fluids. And all this before you walk in the door. That's it. That's in the Blue Mondays anthology.
Margaret, Margaret, sent me videos of sharing it with a group of women she knows.
Oh, I got them.
Did she send it to? Good.
Yeah, yeah.
They weren't reading, Catherine, they weren't reading my poems or your poems. They were reading Margaret's poems.
They were.
Very beautifully.
That would really surprise me, Pam, because of Margaret's particular style.
But I had anti-capitalist poems. I had and I had a direct revision poem, and I had the Judge Wolfe poem, and they didn't bother with them either. So that's a hint to all of you. They might like a bit of some erotica, and I think it's a challenge to write it. And it always generates a bit of discussion. So anyway, that concludes our open mic. So I'm going to hand you back to Mosa.
Thank you very, very much, Margaret. Thank you very much, Matthew, for the brilliant expose of titles. It was very thought-provoking. And thank you, Catherine, for introducing and initiating this workshop, because I think you did very much so. And thank you everyone for reading. I really enjoyed it. It's such a vibrant and varied presentation, actually, you know, even multimedia, only paintings and visuals and people from all over the world. So I'm going to finish our next, what was the date? Our next session is with Emmett O'Brien, who is an urban poet from Dublin, a spoken word poem. And Stan sent the message, Stan's organized it, and it's on the 2nd of March, the 9th. And you know, he's quite an exuberant poet, so I hope he's going to entertain us and stir our juices as Margaret always does. Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you Cork Art Office, I hope, and we'd love to see you again at the open mic or in the audience on the 9th of March with Emmett O'Brien from Dublin. Thank you so much. And I'm going to stop recording now.